Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be testing the latest version of lossless scaling. It's version 2.7.2. This application is a universal frame generator built using machine learning to work on any GPU, whether it's from Intel, Nvidia or AMD, it does not matter. The developer recommends capping the in-game FPS to half of our display's max refresh rate. I'll be testing this application on my Rog Ally Z1 Extreme variant. Ally's display supports up to 120Hz refresh rate, so I'll be capping the FPS to 60 using RTSS. This is the update log. Reduces distortion, ghosting artifacts for LSFG that can occur at certain resolutions and low frame rates. Changes to DXGI capture that may improve frame rate stability and address possible other issues. Fixed anime 4K scaling that occurred when DXGI capture was used. Fixed possible crashes if the CPU does not support AVX instructions. This application can be purchased from Steam Store. It's selling for around $7 US. In India, its price is around Rs 345. Launch application. It also supports these scaling filters. Anime 4K is an open source real-time anime upscaling denoising algorithm. It allows us to watch upscaled anime in real time. I'll just select FSR first. I'll be running God of War. From this drop-down bar, make sure LSFG is selected. Clip cursor setting enabled. Scroll down, draw FPS setting enabled. It will show us the true FPS count with frame generation enabled. Capture API, very important. DXGI works with most of the modern day games. That's it. Settings. This is the hotkey to enable this application. Control Alt plus S. Start as administrator setting enabled. Rog Ally's command center settings. Using a 25 watts manual profile, all three power values set at 25 watts. CPU boost setting disabled, RSR disabled. 900p resolution. I have set the UMA buffer size to 6 GB. My Ally is running on BIOS version 337. Install the latest stable GPU driver from AMD. Adrenaline version 24.3.1. Select God of War. I'll be running the game at 720p resolution without using any in-game upscaler. Just make sure the game is running in either windowed or borderless full screen mode, otherwise LSFG won't work. Using my Bullet KK3 Max gamepad connected to Ally via Bluetooth mode, using a custom Afterburner overlay to show you the performance metrics. You don't need to use this application's upscaler. You can even use RSR, Ally's own driver level implementation of FSR, or the in-game FSR implementation. I am using the original preset. Display settings. Display mode set to windowed. From here I'll just select 720p resolution. VSync disabled. FSR2 disabled. Just open RTSS. Frame rate limit set to 60. Adrenaline settings for God of War. I'll enable FreeSync, VSync disable, anti-lag setting enabled. That's it. There's Kratos. Okay, so here we are getting around 55 FPS, 50 FPS. Game is running using DirectX 11, so FSR3 frame generation is not going to work. Oh no, I don't remember the controls anymore. Game runs smoothly on Ally even without any frame generation technique. Now I'll just enable LSFG. Pause the game. Control Alt and S keys. There you go. Full screen mode got activated. There's the FPS counter showcasing the true count with frame generation enabled. So we are getting around 90 FPS now, not observing any graphical artifacts. LSFG works very nicely with this game. Need to gather some health. There you go. Frame generation techniques come with a slight performance hit. Base FPS drop down to around 45. Running so smoothly, this is just insane. I cleared the area. That was close. Controls are very responsive. Need to grab the help. What the hell is this thing? So now I'll be testing the next game. Now I'll be running Sekiro. This game exhibited some ghosting in the older versions of LSFG. It does not support any version of FSR. I'll be using Lossless Scaling's FSR algorithm. Running the game in windowed mode. It does not support borderless full screen mode. In-game settings, screen mode set to windowed, screen resolution set to 720p. Using the medium preset with motion blur disabled. There you go. 900p resolution. Yeah, there's a character. Rock solid 60 fps. Not observing any artifacts. Now I'll enable LSFG. Press the hotkey Ctrl Alt and S. Full screen mode got activated. There's the FPS counter. We are getting around 120 FPS. Okay. I'm observing some minor graphical artifacts around the character model and moving the camera in complete circles like this. Ghosting has been reduced in this new update, at least in this game. Let's play the game. And me don't even remember the controls. By mistake I pressed the left trigger there. Okay, locked onto the target. Yeah, now I can look around. Some minor graphical artifacts are still present, but you can definitely play the game using LSFG. Land on this guy. Oh my god, that was brutal. Amazing combat in this game. Industry leading. Now I'll be testing the next game. Marvel Spiderman is another game that exhibited a lot of graphical artifacts in the older version of LSFG. I'll just disable FSR. Run the game at 720p resolution. Won't be using in-game FSR implementation as well. Rog Ally resolution to 720p. Games launcher. Upscale method disabled. VSync disabled. 720p resolution. Medium preset, motion blur set to nil. Using the same adrenaline settings for all of the games. FreeSync enable, VSync disable, anti-lag setting enable. Yeah, there's Spidey. We're getting close to 60 fps. Swinging around the city. FPS stays within a range of 50 to 60. This game looks and runs amazing on Ally without any frame generation technique. Tested it so many times. I really enjoy playing the game. Smooth like butter. No graphical artifacts. Not using any upscaler. Most of the artifacts are caused due to the upscalers. Enable LSFG. Control Alt and S. There's the FPS counter. Yeah, FPS got doubled. Okay, I am observing some minor graphical artifacts around Spidey. Again, the artifacts have been reduced by this new update. Let's swing around the city. Not bad at all. Impressed by the performance. In the older version of LSFG, Spidey's character model was flickering. Happens only occasionally now. I'll be testing the next game. Some flickering. Now I'll be running Cyberpunk 2077, not using Lossless Scaling's upscaler. We'll be using the in-game FSR implementation. 720p resolution, windowed mode set to windowed borderless, VSync disable. I'm basically using the low preset. FSR 2.1 set to quality. Motion blur disabled. Low to medium settings. Apply. Start the game. Standing right outside V's apartment building. We are getting around 50 to 60 FPS. Graphics look gorgeous. And this is the low preset. Amazing. I'll just enable LSFG. Press the hotkey. There's the FPS counter. FPS got doubled. Okay, not observing any graphical artifacts. Game side elements are not flickering. Let's play the game. Engage in combat. So many headshots required to kill the cops. Hijack this vehicle. Let's go for a ride. Switch the camera. Observe right. So good performance in this game with LSFG enabled. Trying to observe the shadow, looking for those graphical artifacts. There used to be some flickering at the bottom of the car around the bumper area. Not seeing it now. These guys are blocking my way. Base FPS is around 50. So now I'll be running the next game. Now I'm running the controversial Dragon's Dogma Part 2, very poorly optimized on PC platform. In-game settings, display mode set to borderless window, 720p resolution. I'm basically using the low preset, VSync disable, not using FSR 3. It barely improves the performance on Rog Ally. In settlement areas, performance is limited by the CPU. NPCs kill the performance. Rendering mode set to interlaced. You'll get slightly better performance with interlace mode at the cost of picture quality. If you enable TAA anti-aliasing in this game, you'll observe coasting around the character models. Motion blur disabled. Start the game. Adrenaline settings, racing enable, VSync disable, anti-lag setting enabled. In the settlement area, there are a lot of non-playable characters. Here FPS is around 30.
Now there's a worthy prize.
3 pawns added to my team. They will accompany us, aid us during combat. Base FPS is on the lower side. GPU load is around 90%. I'll just enable LSFG now. Press the hotkey. Got enabled. Yeah, I can observe the added amount of smoothness. Unfortunately, there are some graphical artifacts. You can see character model is flickering. I'm also observing some coasting around the character model. Artifacts will become more pronounced if the base FPS is on the lower side, like around 30. Leave this place. Take the quest. Skip the dialogues. Left the place. Combat time. Oh my god, so many graphical artifacts. I'll be testing the next game. Now I'll be running the paddle.net version of Diablo 4. This game is very nicely optimized on PC platform. Ray tracing was added to the game recently. I'll be enabling it. It's going to tank the FPS. We'll be using LSFG to improve the performance. Same adrenaline settings again, facing enable, VSync disable, anti-lag setting enable. It's an online game. I would not recommend using FSR 3 mods. In-game settings, 720p resolution, not using lossless scaling FSR. Display set to windowed, full screen. VSync disable. FSR 2 enable, using its quality preset. Medium preset with ray tracing set to low. Scroll down. Ray tracing low. Effects enabled. There's a character. Here we are getting around 50 to 60 FPS. Play the game from a top-down view. I'll just enable LSFG now. Control Alt and S. There's the FPS counter. FPS got doubled, close to 100. Difficult to observe the added amount of smoothness in these types of games. But yeah, you can play the game with ray tracing enabled on Rog Ally. Just to be clear, Steam is not running in the background, but lossless scaling app is active. It still works. Entering a settlement.
Another abandoned town. Demons everywhere.
Some survivors are just leave the place.
It bit me.
Careful. He's a
Bear.
wild one.
Not observing any graphical artifacts. Definitely use LSFG with Diablo 4. I'll be testing the next game. Now I'll be running the Steam version of Horizon Forbidden West. For this game, need to set the UMM buffer size to auto on Rog Ally, otherwise the game will crash. I have already tried out Luke FC and Nukem 9's FSR 3 frame generation mods in this game. After enabling these mods, performance does not improve at all. Rather, performance regression occurs. Game runs in a choppier manner than before. Settings, 720p resolution, not using lossless scaling's FSR. Display mode set to windowed. FSR 2.2 enable, quality preset. VSync disable. Using the low preset. Motion blur stand set to nil. We are in. There's Aloy. I'll head for the quarry site. It's nearby. We'll be fighting against a horde of bristlebacks. FPS is around 40. I'll enable LSFG. Press the hotkey. Yeah, it got enabled. Okay, I can observe the added amount of smoothness. FPS with frame generation is around 80. Game's interface is not flickering. Trying to observe the interface carefully. I think it is flickering. My bad. Let's play the game.
Looks like some sort of quarry.
Reach the quarry site. Angry creature. Craft some arrows. Trying to shoot the acidic canister. Very good, did some damage. Use the wrong arrow, my bad. Oh, it's angry. Canister exploded. Creature lost its mind. Did a lot of damage there. Elemental damage. So some minor graphical artifacts with LSFG in this game, but it definitely improves the performance. Oh my god, what was that? I'll be just running around this area. You can definitely play this game on Rog Ally. Looks stunning. Another pistol bag. It had no idea I was standing behind it. Explosion. 70 to 80 FPS during combat. Occasionally dropping down to 60. Now I'll be running the controversial live service game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Again, not using lossless scaling's FSR upscaler. We'll be using the in-game implementation of FSR 720p resolution. UMI buffer size set to auto. Video settings borderless full screen mode 720p resolution. In-game basing disabled. FSR to enable quality preset. Using the low quality preset. Motion blur disabled. Adrenaline settings. Pre-sync enable, V-sync disable, anti-lag setting enable. We are in. I'm playing as Deadshot on the streets of Metropolis. Here FPS is around 45 to 50. Here we have a jetpack. I'll enable LSFG now. Got activated. Yeah, I can observe the added amount of smoothness. Character model is flickering. Head of Deadshot, the mask. Minor graphical artifacts. Subtitles are not flickering. HUD elements are also not flickering. You can use LSFG with this game. I'll play it for a brief moment. I've already completed the game story mode on Rog Ally. You can definitely play the game. Just make sure UMI buffer size is set to auto, otherwise the game will stutter a lot. My teammates. AI control. Captain Boomerang appears out of nowhere. I'm looking for a hole. Beg your pardon, Edward Nigma. I'll clear the area. Sky is angry. Base FPS is around 40. FPS with LSFG enable is around 90. That's it with the video guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.